Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by a special guest and a personal friend of mine, SEC basketball legend, All American Defense Player of the Year, McDonald's All American, SEC Network's very own Patric Young. Patric, man, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. It was always was a question. Let me know and have me anytime, my guy. Really, really appreciate you and love what you do and like that you love sports. That you got the craziest sports mind I've ever encountered. You're just like you're like the next Schwab, Howard Schwab. You just know like all the stuff.
That is literally the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. No, it's true. So me and Patrick used to work together at Campus Legends and the Tim Tebow company we always work at. And me and Patrick actually went to University of Florida the same year, believe it or not, back in 2010, which seems like forever ago. Um,
You know.
yeah, it's wild.
Then you became a traitor and went over to Tuscaloosa.
I had to do it, man. I had to do it. It was, but Gainesville, I will give it this. Gainesville had its moments. I
Yeah,
had to see you play on the court back in 2010 with like Chandler Parsons and Alex Tyus, and it was that team. Those teams were electric, and you got to be a part of Billy Donovan, arguably one of the best college coaches in the last, I would say, 25 years, possibly all time in the
absolutely.
SEC. Back-to-back national titles in 06 and 07. What was that like playing for a guy like Billy?
Um, well, I think a lot of times for kids, sometimes they hear about their coach. They grow up, they know the school, um, they know the program, but and they you go through the recruiting process and sometimes you hear stories of like a coach kind of flipping out on you, not flipping out on you, but they kind of pacify you to an extent where they want to tell you everything you want to hear so they can get you at the school. And I got to tell you, Coach Donovan was never that. He was real with me from day one, with my potential, with where he thought I could go, with what he's done with his credibility. When I stepped on campus, he coached me hard. He coached me hard, but he was fair. He was extremely fair. I saw Gino Oriema talk about it the other day with how he coaches and how some people don't respond to that type of coaching. But Coach Donovan was extremely fair and he was fun. He was forgiving. He held you accountable. He knew how to push your buttons, in a good way, in a good, healthy way, to say, hey, practice. Like, we can't waste minutes, seconds, hours, because this time that you have to reach your goals and vision is short. It's short lived. Especially being young guys and in the NBA draft, they're always looking for potential and where you can go. As the younger you are, usually the better. I stayed all 4 years, so that definitely kind of hurt my draft stock. But being under Coach Donovan, he helped me not only as a player, understanding what it means to be a professional, because I think that's a term that's thrown out there all the time to young kids, or just said like, oh, that kid's going to be a pro. But like, being a pro is way more than just how you play the game. It's your approach to everything you do, the mindset, taking care of your body, and studying the game, paying attention to scout, like all that stuff matters. And I think for me, I really noticed the difference in coaching styles and how blessed I was to have Coach Donovan once I left school and graduated and went on to play for Monty Williams. And then Monty Williams was fantastic, but like after him, when I went overseas to Europe, oh my gosh, it was like, I was like, do we really expect to win? Like, is this our preparation? Like, how are we? This is our scouting. This is our practice. Like, this is how we do weights. We're now putting ourselves in a position to be successful, and we weren't. We sucked. We were terrible, but I had a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm eternally grateful for Coach Donovan, and not surprised at all by the success he's continued to have, especially right now with Chicago Bulls.
Well, yeah, I've always been a big fan of Billy Donovan. I've got a chance to meet him a couple times, and I think he's a fantastic coach. Seeing what he did with the 05, 06 Florida team, arguably one of the greatest talent group teams of all time, with Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, Al Horford, Lee Humphries, Torian Green. I think seeing what he's done, and then the consistent success. I mean, you guys made deep runs into the tournament every year you were there.
Yeah.
And you actually won SEC Defensive Player of the Year your last year. And you said you stayed all 4 years. Did you have the urge to think about coming out early and going into the draft?
My Because it's something I think about often, and I let it go because I did have some inner turmoil within myself of thinking like, dang, I should have left early, I should have did this and that, and I would have been, would life be different? Absolutely. Would it be better? There's no saying, because no matter where we are in life, people are always going to have their issues and things that they idolize and value over just being content with where they are and just counting the blessings. And for me, just understanding that I had this once in a lifetime opportunity to play for a Hall of Fame coach, where the game is still from at college. It's not a business yet. Yes, you're working on it becoming that. But I had a fantastic group of teammates. My family wasn't really in need of, there's a lot of guys in situations where they just think about the money versus their happiness. And I was so happy. I was so content. I was so passionate. I was a Gator since my entire life. And that provided me with so many other opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I thought about it. I thought about it a little bit after each season. I think losing, we lost after the Elite Eight my freshman year to Butler. I didn't play that much that year, but I could have went in the draft, been a top 15 pick. I know personally I wasn't mature enough to step into the NBA at that time as a freshman. Then my second year, played a lot more minutes, probably my best chance to go first round. At that point, we ended up losing to Louisville in the Elite Eight that year. That was Kentucky's Anthony Davis year, where if we would have beat Louisville in that Elite Eight game, we would have had Kentucky in the Final Four again. And I don't want to say they would have beaten us a fourth time, but more than likely, the way that they were playing that whole year, they probably would have. I mean, as we got better throughout the season, they continued to get better, and that just made it really hard. And I was just like, my family they want me to choose happiness. And I continue to I feel like I still have some growing up to do. I still have some development. I didn't have that year yet that I wanted. And then I came back my junior year. And after that, we got blown out by Michigan in the Elite Eight again that next year. And then after that, it was like, hey, this is my last chance. I'm going like this. I'm not leaving the University of Florida knowing this is the only chance I'm going to have. I'm going to have the chance to be a professional, and that hopefully can have a long career doing that. But I don't want to look back at my time at my dream school knowing that I left something on the table. So I came back my last year. Me and Scotty Wilbekin, Will You Get, Casey Prather, and I, we were locked in. We were so focused on that year being great from day one. I won Defensive Player of the Year, and it wasn't because I had the most blocks. If many of the coaches that ended up voting on that, because sometimes it is the guy that gets the most blocks. We saw Walker Kessler this year, obviously set like an SEC record. Oh no, he didn't, because Shaq has the SEC record in blocks, but he set the record at Auburn. But I was by far the best pick and roll defender in college basketball. That if you look at the film, we held teams consistently to 40-point games. Like they wouldn't score more than 40. And if they did score more than 40, it was because Coach Donovan took the starters out. So the younger guys could get more reps, and then they get in the 50s. But we were that locked into the scheme defensively. And, me being the anchor of that, the big guy that could guard, switch out 1 through 5, that could be the orchestrator, the general of the defense. That's what led the team. It helped me tremendously in my professional career, because I understood basketball. It wasn't just about my athleticism, which a lot of guys sometimes only rely on their athleticism instead of what's up here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you said that you were also a multi-time SEC scholar of the year.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you're big brain, Patrick. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I look at David McCormick over at Kansas, and he reminds me so much of myself, because I think he was Big 12 SEC or Big 12 Scholar Athlete of the Year 3 times as well, and academic All-American, and he looks physically like me, and that's something I'm really so proud of, because and I look back and I know I could have done even better. I remember my freshman year, I was just such a knucklehead, man, and I remember my academic advisor. Because I came in, I went to a college prep high school. I went to a really good private Christian school my senior year, and I was a good student. And I got into college, and it happens, man. You're immature. There's so many distractions. First time living without the responsibility and the umbrella of your parents, without someone being able to just call up and tell on you real quick. Because like, bro, I went to middle school with and my dad was a coach. Man, that traumatized me. He worked at the school. Like everything I did, it was like he already knew. It's like a direct line. So I got a little distracted my freshman year and ended up taking in one too many C's. And after that, getting called out, getting that accountable call out from my academic advisor, I straightened up and really pushed myself and found something I was passionate about, telecommunications, something I'm blessed to be doing that for a living nowadays, and staying in the SEC covering ball.
Yeah, and I want to get into that because you are now working with the SEC network. You're doing a great job, by the way, man. I was looking forward to anytime I watch Bama play. I was looking forward to your halftime reports.
Man, how's
that been?
How do you feel about your team this year? I got to ask you. I watched them all year. How'd you feel about your boys?
We talked about this when we worked together. I said I think the talent is there. And then after we beat Gonzaga, I was like, I kind of got my hopes up a little bit, but there was always like a pit in the back, like the bottom of my stomach, knowing it's like, okay, when is it going to happen? And then it just seemed like after the Baylor game, so after beating Gonzaga, Houston, Baylor, Tennessee, LSU, playing really close against Auburn at home, I was like, okay, this team is built for a championship run. And then it just seemed like the wheels kind of came off towards the end. Yeah. And I just thought there was a huge disconnect. And I thought there was a lot of missed opportunities. Yeah. Like I knew after that Vanderbilt game, I was like, I did not feel good about going into the tournament. I thought they could at least get past Notre Dame. Wasn't the case. I know that the recruiting class Bama's bringing in next year is going to be electric. They 3 McDonald All-Americans coming in. I think Nate Oates is finally getting his players in, not Avery Johnson's. So I want to see what Nate Oates can do with his guys.
Right.
I thought it was kind of a little bit of a letdown after the early success in the season.
Yeah, man. I'm so conflicted on how to label the season. It was Dari Noka, my co-host at SEC. We'd always say, is it Dr. Jekyll or Dr. Hyde with this Alabama team from this year? Because they show those spurts and flashes of, oh man, they're elite, and then they lose to Iona, and then they lose to Georgia, and then they lose, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? But I just wonder, because at one point they were like one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the SEC, and then of course they went back to their norm. They had they had like a little spurt in the season where it's like, okay, if they can bottle that up and continue it, they'll be fine. But it was, man, 24, 25 turnovers a game, being extremely loose with the ball, switching their lineups changed so many times. Javon Quinterly was coming off the bench. J.D. Davison can't shoot consistently. He has no pull-up jump shot. And I know that's not Coach Oates' style of play, of like coming off the screen and shooting that little mid-range. But hey, a guy like JD that's not a pull-up 3-point shooter, who's so electric to get to the basket, having a little mid-range coming out of the pick and roll is only good because he's a great passer.
Yeah.
He actually was a really good passer. And it was one game, I think it was they lost to Memphis, I think it might have been Memphis. And he had like 10 assists. And I'm like, wow, this kid he's starting to get the game. But I'm really I was a little disappointed because part of me wanted to see the program excel again and knew that they had the capability. It's just like, what was the missing link there for them? And seeing Keon Ellis, man, the way he started lighting it up the second part of the year, they almost had that game against Kentucky interrupt. Yeah. That first half. I was like, dang. Who is this? And then of course Kentucky came back and won it. But yeah, I mean, it's this year was so exciting with the SEC stuff, man. There's so many things that people just don't know when it comes to doing television. First off, there's always a producer in your ear. So like if we were doing this podcast and we had a producer, it'd be somebody talking to us right now saying, slow down, 30 seconds, 5, 4, 3, look at camera 2. No, look at camera 1. Do you have the question ready? Like it's nonstop, and each segment is so concise, except for the fill. The fill between, when a game finishes and you're waiting for the next one to start, that's when you can be a little bit more relaxed and long-winded. Everything else is so quick and sharp and concise. But man, it's fun. It's fun. Fun being able to stay engaged with basketball games again and watching them all and getting paid to do it. So I hope to do it for a really, really, really long time.
I mean, you're really good at it, and plus, I mentioned you're the sharpest dresser on the show. It's not even close.
You saw that white jacket I pulled out one time? I pulled out the Miami Vice.
I need to get on your level. I just remember when we did our headshots one day. I was like, man, I look good. I got like my houndstooth suit on. I got the Jordans. You come out and you just like absolutely steal the show with the Miami Vice, like showing off the pecs and the shoulders. I'm like, I can't win.
I'm so glad I did that because I use that headshot for so many things now. So shout out to Campus Legends for setting that up. Karen Phillips. Shout out to Karen Phillips for setting that up because that was awesome. She's
the best. So we were talking about Bama being, I would say, would they be your biggest disappointment in the SEC this year?
Yes. And the reason I say yes is because, you look at LSU, you look at Ole Miss, you look at Florida, you look at whom else had I'm trying to think of teams that had injuries that took away from their potential. Alabama didn't have guys that were injured. I think they were pretty healthy all season in the SEC. Of course, they still made the tournament, but first round, get out of there type year, losing just that second half of the season. The way they just weren't taking care of the ball. Nate Oates is saying they're having problems with energy to the game. Like, what else do you need to inspire you to come out and play 40 minutes? Like, you're playing for one of the greatest programs in all of sports. You're playing for a coaching team that's on a cliff and the opportunity to win another SEC, to make a great run, to build off of last year. And it just seemed like sometimes the energy level wasn't there for them. So yeah, for me, they probably had to be a big disappointment. Of course, personally, Florida for me was a disappointment. I think the biggest issue with them was outside of Colin Castleton. The guys that transferred in this year, their production was just not there. Yeah. And I love to talk a little bit about the transfer portal. If you
yeah, absolutely.
On it. And I love, like, some coaches. I'm for it. I'm for the opportunity. I'm for kids having options.
Yeah,
I'm definitely for kids having options, but I'm also for kids saying, I'm going to fight. I'm going to prove, I'm going to get better. Just because I'm a freshman and I didn't play a lot this year doesn't mean I need to transfer and find a place right now, because I don't know how many kids entered the transfer portal last year, 1,500, 1,600. All of those kids did not get picked up.
Yeah.
Guess what? A lot of those schools didn't want their kids back. So, I don't know what message it's portraying to and ingraining in kids when life gets, we get jobs that, our jobs aren't always fun. Our jobs aren't always the most enjoyable thing. But guess what? You persevere, you get up, you stay disciplined, you do what you control what you can't control, and you have your vision for what do I need to do to get there? All right, let me keep chipping away, and be able to decompress and get away from it. Have balance and do things on your own time that make you enjoy life and enjoy it, so you don't have to think about it all the time as well. But that's just my little 2-cent rant. I think it's justified though.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. I think I love the transfer portal for reasons like if a guy comes in, like a top recruit comes in and the coach leaves. The guy that he came for, or maybe it's just not a good situation for him. He's homesick, this mental health issues going on. I'm all for it. Now there are players I know who abuse it, who jump in 2 or 3 times, and that's mainly more in football than anything. We're seeing.
Who was the kid with Miami?
Tate Martell.
No, the basketball player, but Tate Martell as well. Yes.
Oh.
Here we always talk about him.
Yeah.
It was a basketball player with Miami that's this year that this was like his 5th school.
Wow.
And I think he had another year. I think he has another year as well.
Jeez. No, I don't know who that is. Damn, I couldn't imagine going to 5 different schools
right now.
5 different schools. That's wild to me. So, with that being said, we talked about this point. Who was a shocker in the SEC this year? Like, did you have like a team that you were just like, I did not see that coming?
Let's see. I would say Auburn was just because and it's not because I had any disrespect or disdain. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Bruce Pearl and what he's done. I just did not know about the players and what momentum that they were going to have coming into the year. Everyone was so high on Arkansas, LSU, Alabama, and Kentucky coming into the year. It was like Auburn was, I think they were in the pack there somewhere, but they weren't thought to be like going to be contenders of winning the league, because the narrative was, all right, will Auburn be able to hold the ship, be able to keep the ship afloat until Alan Flanagan gets healthy from his Achilles in the middle of the season, he can play? Because the jump Alan Flanagan made from his freshman year to his sophomore year was insane. Like, he went from like 3 points a game to like 16 and was playing with tremendous amount of confidence. But, you see Auburn start the season off, their guard play is, and the thing is, I don't want, people are going to be critical, but looking at how Auburn played the beginning of the season to how they play at the end, same exact style of play. They did a little bit better job of getting the ball to Jabari Smith in the second year, but the shots that they were taking and making are the same shots they were taking and missing in the second half of the season. Wendell Green's taking shots from the logo, taking shots within the first 5 seconds of the shot clock. They were doing very well in the pick and roll, but that Auburn team, they were fun to watch. I really hope Coach Pearl can continue what he's doing, in that hopefully their football program, because I know right now they're projected not to be super great this upcoming season, with all the controversies and stuff that happened with Brian Harsin. But it's tough to do, especially in the SEC. But Auburn was a big surprise for me in the kindest, nicest way to say so.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't see Auburn coming either. I had no idea Jabari Smith was going to be that dude. I think he should be in the conversation for the number 1 pick in the draft. I think I actually wanted to talk about this because I think it's a very funny hypothetical. If Chet Holmgren, the kid out of Gonzaga, you would have eaten him alive. You could have breathed on him and he would have fell over.
Well, I wouldn't say, going against someone like Chet Holmgren, what my intention would have been is to get him into foul trouble. And, a shot blocker, you have to get into his body. Because I went against Anthony Davis and I tried to do like the running hooks or stuff like with that length and size, they're going to affect your shot. When you give them a little in the chest, put that shoulder in there, they don't have a chance to block a shot. But, Chet Holmgren, he moves so well as being that size, handling the ball. He handled the ball a little bit better than AD did back in his college days. Being the big guy I could guard him easily in on the perimeter. But the fact that I struggled with guard or big guys that could shoot and stretch the ball, stretch and shoot the three.
Yeah.
Guys that can stretch and shoot the three and put it on the ground a little bit. Those are the guys because you want to play so aggressive in the pick and roll. When those guys pop and you have to come, you got to get to their shot, or you got to close out in a way if they have a quick first step. Those are the guys, those unicorn type players that make it a lot more difficult. But I think I could have handled Chet. I think Drew Timme and I would have had a pretty good battle with his footwork and what he does in the paint. I'm obviously was more stronger guy than he is or was. But his footwork, it would have been a great battle in the paint for sure.
Yeah, you had a Twitter account dedicated to your shoulders, so I'm pretty sure you would have been able to handle Chet. I'm just saying. Now on the outside, maybe not, but that's a hypothetical for another day. When they bring back the NCAA basketball game, I'm gonna.
Oh man, I love it.
So we just finished the season. Kansas walks away national championship. Great Final Four. I thought overall it was a very fun tournament. St. Peter's run was
Oh
fantastic.
man.
But at the end of the day, were you really surprised at the end result of Kansas cutting down the nets, or did you think it was going to be Duke, it being Coach K's last run, or did you have someone else coming out and cutting down the nets?
Man, I did like 5 brackets. I had Arizona, Kentucky, and I may have had Kansas finishing one of. No, I had the Zags winning one of them as well. Gosh, I can't say I wasn't surprised that. First of all, can't say I wasn't surprised Arkansas beat Gonzaga. With Arkansas, it was and is such a physical team. They're like okay, you got a game plan, punch you in the mouth. Like that Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until we punch you in the mouth. And they came with that aggressiveness. Arizona played really well. I mean, but they almost lost to TCU right before that. I saw Kentucky making a run. We all kind of did. I think everybody in their mom, except the St. Peter's Peacocks, they didn't have but it's a situation where the fans are just trying to make a bracket just to say, yeah, we can do it. They're going to go all the way, and that was really disheartening, and it hurt me seeing Kentucky lose. Not so much because I do like Coach Cal, but I don't have any attachment. But you get a chance having the job that I do of really getting to see and learn and know about these players. And man, I can't tell you, I'm a huge fan of Oscar Tshiebwe, Ty Washington, Xavier Wheeler. They're just such good kids, and that's what Coach Cal said was so disappointing. He's like, man, you just feel so bad for the kids because they work their butts off. But for the Jayhawk fans, I was that are going to hear this, I saw what Kentucky did to the Jayhawks in Allen Fieldhouse. With all due respect, they kicked your ass. They kicked your teeth. They kicked your teeth in at home. So, my thought was, oh man, Kansas is good, but they're going to win the Big 12. They're going to win a few games here and there. They're not going to make a run. I apologize. You know why I apologize? I hadn't seen Remy Martin play. I had not seen what he can do. And I knew that was something Coach Self was asked about all year, and he was getting tired of it. When I saw Remy Martin play, I said, oh, snap. They're gonna go a far way. They're about to make a run because a guy that small, senior, coming in for his 5th year, just extremely smart, can get to his shot, doesn't take bad ones, come off the bench. Ochai Abachi, David McCormick. I mean, all the guys there. I can't say it was awesome to see for the first time ever North Carolina and Duke matching up. Because we at Campus Legends, we represent North Carolina, so we were like a little bit more invested in seeing North Carolina make a run. And like after they beat Duke and Cameron, I'm like, okay, like they look pretty good now. But then North Carolina lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament, so I'm like, oh man, I'm not sure. But then, and everyone has to understand the NCAA tournament is so humbling. If you don't come to that game, that first round, second or whatever, with just this reckless abandonment, like your life is going to end unless you win this game. That level of desperation, anybody's going to beat you. Anything can happen. And I didn't see Duke making it as far as they did, but with the talent level, that kid Mark Williams, gosh, he's so impressive. The big guy, North Carolina, great run that they made. Caleb Love, RJ Davis, Armando Bacot. It's hats off to Armando. I think one of the first players ever to double in all 6 games in the tournament. Really impressive. But to say the least, I was not surprised to see Kansas win it all. I didn't want them to win it all, but hats off to Coach Self. It reminded me of when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl after he was suspended 4 games in the season, and Roger Goodell had to hand him the trophy. When Mark Emmert has to hand Bill Self the trophy with them being under those investigations, and how Bill Self trolled the NCAA with like that music video and the big old chain and signing the lifetime contract. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped for that program with what Coach Self has accomplished within his career before this second title. Like it's like he's due for one. He's definitely due for one. But I hope for Hubert Davis. I'm a huge fan of him as a man, as a how he gets his guys inspired and how he lives his. He leads everything he does through his faith. I really hope that he gets another opportunity to be there within the next few years.
Yeah, I thought Carolina was another year away. I thought next year, like this next coming season, they'd be like, all right, they're going to make some noise in the ACC. Coach K's leaving. I thought he was going to take a step back, but they came to play. They shot the lights out, honestly, from the Duke game until the first half of the NCAA tournament. And I got a chance to be at both games in New Orleans, and I thought UNC was going to blow Kansas out after the first half. I mean, it looked like it was going that way. Anything UNC was shooting was going in. I just thought everything was going their way. But, man, that fan base, that's those students and those fans for Kansas have no quit.
Oh, man, yeah, absolutely. What were they down 15 at half? 23 to 40 or to 25 to 40.
Yeah,
and
didn't quit.
Didn't quit. Well, I think Caleb Love, he really kind of shot them out of that game, man. And not obviously not on purpose. He's shooting the ball with confidence, but Kansas came out in that second half, like I said, like with that mindset of this is it, and it is. It was the last game of the season, no matter what. And they were like, they going on like a 7-9-0 run to start it off, like turnover, and then at that point, UNC couldn't gather themselves. Really cool to see Cam Johnson's younger brother, Puff Johnson, making his way and impacting that game. But you got the basketball gods when they want somebody to win, they're going to make it happen. When a team is fighting that hard and one team can't find their groove, you just leave the door open for luck and those things to happen. And really, one of the most impressive wins outside of Villanova beating North Carolina, I would say that's probably one of the most impressive championship wins of close to all time, because being now 15 in the national championship game, like, come on.
Yeah. So have you already started looking at next season, or are you taking a little bit of a break? Or
Oh man, I'm taking a break. Today is Thursday, April 7th. It is the first day of the Masters.
Yeah,
I am locked into the match. If it wasn't snowing, it's literally sideways snowing here in O'Neill, Nebraska. I'd be right outside. My fiance lives right on the golf course. I'd be out there trying to work on my game, but I don't love golf that much. But yeah, I'll stay on Twitter. I'll follow all the SEC, all the major guys there. So if any big announcements that come up, I'll try to stay in the know. But no, I'm not gonna. I'm getting married in July. So
congratulations.
Yeah. Kind of focused on preparing for that as well. So that's kind of the jive right now, brother.
Yeah, I saw the engagement, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, go on Patrick's Instagram. You went all out for it. A major respect, man.
Oh man, you got to see this. From all the photos, my fiance had this made, and we're actually going to use this at our wedding. It's a huge engagement book.
Yeah. Wow.
Got all the photos and stuff that from our deal in Paris. Look at that. It's gonna be you soon, bro.
We'll see. I gotta start saving up money if I'm gonna pull off that. And so yeah, I mean, that was awesome. I was very happy for you. Getting to know you as a person and a friend the last year. Now we were just talking about the Masters. Who do you have winning? Because it's first day of the Masters, so you can say it now. And then when people come back to listen to this, they'll be like, all right, Patric Young called it.
Well, we heard what Tiger said.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play in a tournament unless I think I can win. Right. And right now, my favorite guys, let me make sure I'm not going to say someone who's not actually competing, because I love Dustin Johnson's one of my favorite guys on tour. Brooks Koepka, one of my favorite guys as well. Who's number one right now? Do you know? Is it Justin Rose?
I'm not sure who's number one. I'm a big Justin Thomas guy, obviously being a Bama guy. So big on JT. I love me some Brooks. I do like Bubba. I just think he's a character. So that's what I like about golf.
When's the last time Bubba Watson has won anything?
I don't know, but I was always
It's like he won the Masters and then just like disappeared. I mean, hey, he's collecting checks.
Oh yeah.
No, he is check collecting. Is he ever? But I don't remember seeing him win anything. You know what? I'm gonna call Phil Mickelson getting it done.
Oh wow, you're breaking news. Now I've seen you swing a golf club, and it is honestly one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Like we went to Top Golf one day, and Patrick just like nonchalantly just drives it, and it goes over the net at Top Golf effortlessly. Yeah. And so,
yeah. Well, I grew up playing golf. I just didn't have as much time to keep working on it because I was playing basketball and baseball, mostly baseball growing up. And once I started striking out, because golf was kind of just like on the side. My dad wanted us to bond around that, and because he was coaching. Once I started striking out in baseball, because that swing was getting a little too loopy, he was like, all right, bro, we gotta stop that, and so you can focus on your game. And I picked it back up around 2021 and was extremely rusty. But just like this past year, man, I was getting lessons again every week, working on my game, playing like twice a week. And then I got 2 jobs and then I couldn't play.
I get it. So who, and you can be honest about this, who, if you guys were in a driving competition between you and Tim, who's winning?
I beat Tim. I kick his behind. I was about to say, hey, I kick his ass. Tim, I'd kick your ass.
I was because I know he plays golf so but
I hit at Jack's Beach, I hit a 380-yard drive. 380.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man.
I need to go to your level. See, this is why I was going to work out with you daily.
Up for that. Like it wasn't a terrible slice, but it wasn't a good one. Like it went to the opposite tee box on the next hole, and the guys were like, "Did you hit that from over there?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, bro, you almost killed. I was like, I didn't know it was gonna go that far, but I'm sorry.
That's too funny. Patrick, man, you've been amazing. I appreciate you coming on. It's always good talking to you. Next time I'm in Jacksonville, we'll definitely go grab drinks. Obviously, you're in Nebraska right now. I'm not coming to Nebraska, but is there anything?
You don't want to. No, where are you at right now?
So I'm in St. Simons, Georgia right now. So I'm.
Man, dude, you got to play. Have you played Sea Island?
I've not played it. I've been on the course. I've been on the card. I feel like Sea Island is for legit players.
Yeah,
so I'm more of a drive the cart kind of guy.
Yeah, fortunately, I was at Danny Werfel's golf tournament this past year, and I got a chance to play it. And the wind was like 40 miles per hour, and like I'm already not that good. Come on, God, turn the fan off. But yeah, I mean, if anything, I want to say, I'm starting to get into some, after the wedding, I want to start getting into some public speaking, some motivational speaking. I think I have a story to tell, a few different stories to tell that can, I'm not looking to make it big or anything like that. I think life is too short to just stay stagnant, and for us to get caught into our own minds that we just need to reframe our perspective on the things that matter. Like there's so many things, yes, that we can point to problems wise, but the fact that we live in America is a huge blessing. And the opportunities provided for us. There's obviously things that are going to happen in life that, when I had a bad surgery with my knee and it messed up my career, and I could have been extremely bitter about it. I could have pointed the finger and just been angry. And I said, you know what? I've been so blessed for what I have had. Let me just move forward and put meaning with what has happened so I can use it as a way to motivate others. And I understand a lot of people go through a lot of tough things in life, but at some point we have to choose to write our own story, to not be victims, to control what we can't control. So I'm really excited for getting into public speaking. Apparently you writing a book helps you get more gigs. Yeah. That is not on my horizon yet, but maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, my guy, that's pretty much it. I can't wait to lock back into some more Masters golf and see if Tiger can get some birdies on the board.
Absolutely. Follow Patrick on social media, Twitter. Also go follow his podcast. I've had a chance to listen to it. If you want to plug it, it's a great listen. You have some awesome guests on there. But plug that real quick before we head out.
Oh yeah, the Young and the Rowdies. It's a chance. It's a podcast where I interview former Florida Gator basketball players, current coaches, whoever has had a hand in Florida basketball. And I've had some football players on there as well, some writers. And we dive into all the stuff. Season's over, so there's no new podcast coming out for the rest of this year, but it'll be back to you for season 3 next year.
Absolutely, man. Well, Patrick, you are the man. Can't wait to reconnect with you soon. And thanks again for coming on, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Cruz. Have a great one.